Hey guys, what's going on? And today I walked into Walgreens and I saw some new Wet n Wild products that I wanted to give a try. So I picked up their new cushion foundation. I picked up their Color Icon eyeshadows, the 10 pan eyeshadow one, and then I picked up their Hello Halo highlighter. I know these things aren't like completely new, but they are new to me, so I wanted to go ahead and give them a try and also do an entire drugstore get ready with me. So if you are interested in seeing any of that, please keep watching. Hopefully I'm not too washed out. I have my like lighted makeup mirror in front of me and then a softbox behind me, but it's like pitch black outside right now, so let me know below if this lighting works for you, but let's go ahead and get started. I've already primed my face with the Maybelline Blur and Smooth Master Prime. It looks like this. Love this stuff. Drugstore. It's like $6. It's really nice in the winter because it's a very lotiony consistency. Looks like that. And this stuff actually does minimize my pores. So this one actually works. I really like it. And then I have just a little bit of Aquaphor on my face. Might as well work a little more of this in. I did let that primer sit on my skin for about 15 minutes, but yeah, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first thing we're gonna talk about is the Mega Cushion Foundation SPF 15. Looks like that. I picked this up in the color Nude Beige 108A. You can see that on the packaging. That might be reflecting a little bit too much, but what I really liked about this is you could see on it that it says warm, and then there were colors that said cool, and then there were colors that said neutral. So the lightest color, I was between this color and the lightest color. I do have self-tan on my body, but not on my face. And the Nude Beige is what I believe, let me just grab it here, I use with their other foundation. Oh, it's right in front of me. No, sorry. The one that I use with their Photo Focus foundation that everyone went crazy about, this is Golden Beige, but I don't know. I thought this would work for me, and I thought it was really cool that they did list if it was cool, warm, or neutral. I didn't see I don't think I saw a medium neutral. I think the only neutral one I saw at the store was the lightest color, and then the rest were either warm or cool. So let's see how this works. Now, it comes with obviously a little protector here. It'd be nice if they put a mirror in there, but I mean, I think this was $8. Let me see if I have my receipt. It was $8.99, so I'm sure they're able to cut costs with that. And then it has this little applicator sponge. I was obsessed with the L'Oreal Lumi version of this, and I actually didn't mind using this, so I'll try it with this, but I also have my LA Girl Beauty Sponge, so let's first see what this color is like. Actually, that looks like it's gonna match my tan really well. So I'm gonna scoot in. I'm gonna try to push my mirror back a little bit so I'm not like quite so washed out. Let's do this side with this sponge-ish thing, and then I'll go on the other side with the Beauty Blender. After I put this on, I'll go ahead and read the claims, but it's looking to me to be medium coverage to start. I'm gonna grab a mirror so I could see a little bit better. I grabbed the tiniest possible mirror I could find, but that's okay. Definitely looking dewy. It does claim to be a luminous foundation, so the only thing I don't like is I feel like these things like come off very easy. It's just like uncomfortable to use this sponge, you know? I feel like it does pick up the right amount of product though. It definitely feels super lightweight. All right, and that is one side done with the sponge. I think this actually looks nice. It's definitely not full coverage. I'd say it's about medium coverage. It kind of took it over to there. It doesn't seem to be like caking up anywhere at this point. I'll get a little bit closer and turn that so you guys can kind of see. It doesn't seem to be caking up anywhere. The color is actually a really nice match with my neck. You could see it did cover up my redness, but I don't think this would cover up like pimples, or if you have like a bunch of discoloration on your face. I think you might need to go in with something a little bit more than this, but let's go ahead and do the other side. I have my LA Girl sponge, just kind of wet here. I'm just gonna dip it into the cushion and go about this route. I feel like I already like how this is sitting on my skin a little bit better. And do you see how fast this is as compared to the other one? Way faster. So I think I would definitely go in again with just the sponge rather than the cushion. But the cushion does work if you don't have a sponge. But this sponge is super cheap and I absolutely love it. I like it a little bit more than the Beauty Blender, I think, to be honest. And you can see I'm like basically done with this side of my face. So hopefully you guys can see that it's just sitting on the skin a little bit nicer on this side. I think it looks a little more like skin. I'm gonna just go over this side to kind of even everything out and press it into the skin a little bit more. I think if you do have some kind of blender sponge available to you, that's definitely the route to go. I am trying to build up product a little bit here, and it does look like it's building up without a problem. It's not getting cakey or anything like that. Definitely luminous. Again, still feels super lightweight on my skin. I would definitely be worried about using this though if you did have oily skin. This might be a pass for you. I think that the other foundation, the Photo Focus foundation, would be a better option for you because that's a lot more matte and drying. So I think that this would be a good one if you had dry skin, the other one if you had oily skin. So I'm gonna let that just kind of hang out on my skin for a little bit and talk to you guys about like the claims on the cover. So it contains a natural coconut derivative, which I guess is supposed to be really hydrating for the skin, and maybe that plays into why it's luminous. And then the claims are luminous, lightweight, and buildable hydrating formula, and I definitely agree with that at this point. I wonder if online, and it might, I'll list it down below if it does, if it says what kind of coverage it is. It does have SPF 15 in it, so this might not be one that you want to wear if you're taking flash photography or anything like that, but overall I like it. I think this would be a good like everyday kind of foundation. It would be cool if it had a mirror in it, but they have to keep costs down. And yeah, it's pretty convenient, pretty compact. So let's go ahead and move on to concealer. I'm going to use my Maybelline Fit Me in Light. I haven't used this for a hot minute, so let's go ahead and do that. Sorry if my face is looking washed out. I need this lighted mirror in front of me. And I'll just blend this out. So that concealer went over everything really nicely. I'm gonna go ahead and set my under eyes because they're already starting to crease. And that always happens to me. I have like the world's creasiest under eyes and there's just like nothing I can really do about it. So let me set those. And I'm gonna try to keep that pretty close to my under eye because I am gonna go in with their new highlighter. So you can see as I like lifted my eyes up, I am starting to crease in those fine lines right there, but that again always happens with me. So I'm just gonna stamp that out, and that actually is stamping out pretty easy, and then just set my creasy forehead. Okay, so I've set that. I don't know what happened with my like inner corner here there, but there's a little bit of like concealer missing. I think that was the fault of the concealer, not the foundation, so I won't judge that, but everything is set. I tried to avoid this area. Yeah, this is still pretty sticky. Anywhere I haven't set is definitely still a little bit tacky. And before I go in and do anything else, I want to use the Megaglo Hello Halo liquid highlighters. I picked up the shade Halo Goodbye. The packaging is glass, which is nice, but I don't know how good that would be for travel. It has a doe foot applicator. I'm just gonna keep that plastic on because I don't want to deal with it right now, but let's just swatch a lot on the back of the hand here. Ooh, it's really pretty. It's definitely on the pinky side, which typically isn't my like highlighter color of choice. Wow, that's really, really pretty. I hope this can layer over powder okay, but I mean, I really did try to avoid that with powder. So I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand. I don't wanna go right in because this does look pretty intense. And I'm gonna take my Beauty Blender and just go in my areas where I typically highlight. So I definitely did get some powder down, and it is not looking great on top of that. So maybe for this one, it would be best to not set your under eye. I mean, it looks like in the mirror I could see though that is like super reflective though. So with this one, maybe don't set your under eye before you go in and highlight. That might be the best way to use this stuff. But it's definitely pigmented. I'm gonna have to experiment with this a little bit more. It does dry down really quick though. Hopefully you guys can see that. I would imagine you could because it's pretty intense. I don't know, I feel like I always really try to love liquid highlighters, but then I end up not loving them. See, like I went in kind of heavy there and the texture of that just kind of looks off. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this yet, but then again, I'm not quite sure how much of a liquid highlight person I am. All right, so right before my camera died, I started to look a little bit closer here, and it's definitely lifting up the foundation, which really shouldn't happen with a product that from the same like product line, but whatever, just don't use powder if you're gonna use that, because otherwise it's super pretty. I feel like it does kind of blend away though into nothingness, but I did start to put it here, and I feel like that looked really pretty. So I'll have to give this one another try when I haven't set my under eyes. The only problem is I like have to set my under eyes immediately. So yeah, so let's go ahead and go in with the next product that I got, which is the Wet n Wild Not a Basic Peach palette. Looks like this. There, let me open it so you guys aren't being blinded by that reflective light there. They've had palettes out for a super long time. Okay, so this is what the colors look like, and I just thought it was a really pretty palette, and I like that they throw in that little blue shade there. I thought that was really fun. So let's go ahead and scoot in here. I thought I would go in with the Wet n Wild brushes because it's appropriate. So I'm using their blending brush here, and I'm gonna first use this transition shade and just work that all over the lid. It's actually really smooth. I'm gonna bring that all the way up. And it's pretty much just like a powder shade, although these are pretty powdery. Hopefully you guys can see that transition shade up there. I just dipped my brush in it really lightly, and there's a lot of fallout, so I'll be careful when I go in with the darker shades. All right, so I'm drawn to a ton of shades in here, but I want to kind of use the matte orange shade, which is here, and then this orange shade. So I think I'm going to do a halo eye. So starting with the darker shade, I'm going to go in with a smaller blender brush, which needs to be cleaned. Just using my color switch to wipe off any excess. And going into that matte orange shade, I'm going to just start to work that. Wow. Pretty pigmented. Yeah, pigmented. Whoosh. I'm gonna work that on the outer corner. And I'm also gonna work that on the inner corner. Doesn't look like I'm getting much fallout, which is nice. I'm just working that up. I'm just going to start to kind of connect these two slowly, lightening up my pressure as I go towards the middle where I'm going to put that shimmer shade. Wow, I love that. So now let's go ahead and just blend the edges so there's nothing harsh. Already getting the runny eye, folks. All right, and then let's go in with the shade next to the orange, the more like shimmery version. So that set didn't come with a flat brush, so I'm just gonna use this Michael's brush, and I'm gonna see how pigmented it is without any kind of like Fix Plus or anything. kind of just looks like diamond shadow or something like that, like without like a Fix Plus. I don't even know if you guys will be able to see that on camera. Sorry, I keep turning my mirror, which is washing me out, but I'm gonna spray this with my Smashbox primer water and then go back in, and we're gonna try to amp up that pigment. Oh yeah, much better. Much better. Like world of difference better. Although I think it's going on a little patchy with that Fix Plus. Yeah, definitely going on a little patchy. I'm not sure how I feel about this color. I feel like without the Fix Plus, it's not pigmented enough, but with the Fix Plus, it's going on a little too patchy. Try to rub it off on my hand first, and then go in a little more. I think that it's a little too sparkly for my liking. And I'm just dipping into this pinker, more pinky shade to kind of add that right here. Okay, so now taking the Wet n Wild more like bullet brush, I'm gonna go back into that matte orange and I'm gonna start to work that under the eye. I am watering right there, so that's gonna, the outside corner is gonna be a little messed up. And I'm taking that all the way in. Gonna connect the outer corner here. And then I'm gonna just take that flat brush once again into that shimmery shade and just add a little of that. Okay, and that is the complete eye done. I like it. I think that was super simple. The only thing is I think that more shimmery shade that I used for like the center halo part could have been a little more pigmented, but let me go ahead and do the same thing to this eye and then throw on some eyebrows, and then I will walk you through the rest of what I'm going to do to my face. So eyebrows are on and I finished up this eye. I don't know if it's the concealer or what, but I cannot get, or the eyeshadow. I don't think it's the eyeshadow because it's fine on this side, but I cannot get any eyeshadow to stick in my inner corner there. It might be the allergy situation that's going on. I'm like leaking out of the side of my eye here, and it might be the same kind of deal there. So you'll notice that it's a little patchy, so I'll have to play around. I don't want to say it's the eyeshadow though, because I think it's just my eyes. I'm also starting to notice a little bit of my imperfection starting to peek through with this foundation. Like right here, I have a little like red situation going on. I don't know if it's gonna like turn into a pimple or what, but this is what everything's looking like. With my eyebrows, I use the Catrice eyebrow set. I always forget how much I love this. It's just powders. They're so easy to work with and they're so pigmented. And then I set it with my Brow Stylist Plumper from L'Oreal. And then I used my Maybelline Lash Paradise. I really tried to bulk up my lashes a little bit since I'm not using any falsies today. So let's go ahead and do the rest of our face. I'm really, as I got closer to doing my face with the rest of my makeup, I'm really not loving the highlighter on top of this powder. So I don't know what we're gonna do about that, but I do wanna still set the rest of my face because it still does feel a little bit tacky. And I am gonna go ahead and use the Wet n Wild pressed powder. This is in the color Warm Light. I like this stuff. It's been around for quite a while now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use the big fluffy brush that I have, again, from Wet n Wild, and I'm just gonna lightly dust that on the face. See if I can set everything down. All right, so that powder worked great as always. I am gonna go in with the Glamour Dolls Vacation Bronzer. Love this stuff. Hi, George. You don't have to bark. And I'm gonna use the same brush and just bronze up a little bit. All right, so that's just a little bronze, and then I'm gonna go in with my Rose Champagne blush by Wet n Wild once again, and I'm gonna take that on this brush from Wet n Wild again. I wish they had numbers on their brushes, but they don't. They just say Wet n Wild. But I did get this in a set from Walgreens, so it might be because of that. I'm not quite sure, but Just gonna go ahead and add a little peachy glow. Alright, and then to finish things off, let's go ahead and add the Wet n Wild Precious Petals highlighter. Nothing new, I know I love this. So at this point, I definitely think if you're between buying the liquid and then the powder, go with the powder. I mean, it's gorgeous and you don't have to worry about using it before setting or anything like that. So I'm definitely a bigger fan of that. It's more intense and it's just more universal. So let's go ahead and apply a lip color. And since we are on this Wet n Wild theme here, let's just go in with the Liquid Catsuit in Nudist Peach. I know, I like the lipstick too. It's so nice. Huh? Can you say hi? Look how much I've grown. I'm a big boy now. I'm a big boy now. Sometimes I forget how much I like that color from Wet n Wild, but this is everything. My first impressions / drugstore get ready with me. Let's quickly review. As far as the foundation, we're gonna have to see how this wears. I think it's still sitting pretty nicely, but this is definitely not one if you have oily skin. Even though I did set it with the pressed powder, I still do feel like it's a little bit tacky, but it's not sitting too heavily in that wrinkle that always kind of pokes through after a while, and it hasn't oxidized at all, which is nice. But again, it does have SPF in it, so I'll give you an update below on how that works out for me. As far as the eyeshadows, I really did like this. I want to give you prices on that because I know I talked about the foundation being $8.99, but the eyeshadow was $4.99 and the liquid highlighter was $5.99. So I definitely think that the eyeshadow is worth the money, but at this point, I'm not convinced on this highlighter. I think maybe save your money, get the powder highlighter if you're gonna go for something. Overall, I think this look looks really nice. I'm actually gonna go out tonight, so hopefully everything lasts. But yeah, I hope this was helpful to some of you if you were thinking about trying some of these products or you just wanted to get some ideas on some drugstore products. If you guys have any questions at all, please let me know below. I love to read your comments and I try my very best to respond to all of them. If you're interested in seeing any more videos from me, please subscribe. It means the world to me. Otherwise, I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.